In this video, I'll be talking about what a checking account is. So if you are a student or if you are a teenager and you're looking forward to opening your first checking account, then this is the video for you. Now, to give you an outline of what we're going to cover in this video, the first thing is I'm going to describe what a checking account is, and I'm going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of a checking account. And then I'm going to be describing the types of checking accounts that are offered by Bank of America. Let me introduce myself. My name is Stephen Ojo, and on my channel, I talk about money and I talk about aviation. So if you are interested in any of those subjects, kindly subscribe to the channel. And also, if you find value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. Another thing I would like you to know is that I've included some timestamps in the description below. So if you would like to skip towards the areas that are more important to you, then you can feel free to do that. But I don't want you to miss the bonus tips that I'll be leaving along in this video, because as I discuss every type of account, I'll be talking about some of the advantages and disadvantages, and you may find value in these areas as well. So I would urge that you try to watch the video all through. I'll try to make it short and be concise. The first thing I'm going to start with is to describe what a checking account is. Now, you got to look at a checking account as an account that lets you have unlimited transactions, and you have no restrictions on this type of account most of the time. So compared to a savings account will often have what they call limited transactions, which means if you exceed a number of withdrawals or deposits within a cycle, you will be penalized. This penalty comes in terms of fees, which means you will be charged, and that's something you want to avoid. One thing you should also know is that a checking account is also called a demand account or a transactional account, which means that, you can have access to your money anytime. So let's talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages of checking accounts. The first advantage I'm going to mention is mobile access functionality, which means that most of the time, generally speaking, most checking accounts do have an ability to access your account through your mobile phones, which makes it very convenient to monitor your transactions and also monitor your balances. The second advantage of a checking account is the debit card access, which means you have this card that you can use to make purchases in stores and online. The third advantage of a checking account is the ability to have direct deposits made into your account, which means that if you are working or if you are retired, you can actually have your pension plans sent into your account, or if you're working, your employer can make direct deposits into your account. The next advantage of a checking account is the ability to write checks. If you're looking for an account that gives you access to checks, then a checking account is suitable for that. The last advantage that I'm going to talk about in this video is that most checking accounts are covered by the FDIC insurance, which means that you're protected up to about $250,000. Now, there are some disadvantages that we're covering as well in this video, and disadvantages include monthly maintenance fees. Most checking accounts also require that you keep minimum balances, and ATM withdrawal limitations, which means that if you exceed some of these withdrawal limitations, you will be penalized, or if you use out-of-network ATMs, you could also be penalized. So keep that in mind. The other thing you need to also keep in mind is that checking accounts do come with overdraft fees, so which means if you spend more than you have, you will probably be penalized for that. Now, the last point that I will talk about is that checking accounts do not earn interest. There are few exceptions to this, which I'm going to be talking about as we go along in this video. If you're thinking of opening an account with Bank of America and you're considering the checking accounts as well, Bank of America offers 3 checking accounts. The first I'm going to talk about in this video is the Advantage Safe Balance. The minimum amount required to open this account is about $25. And it comes with no overdraft protection. And I think that is a good thing, especially if you're a student. Because the thing is, if you have this protection, what it means is that if for any reason you spend more than you have, you will have to pay a fee. However, if you do not have this protection on this account, what it means is that any transaction that exceeds the amount you have in your account will be declined, which means you won't be penalized anyway. So that's a good thing. Now, one of the things that you need to keep in mind about Advantage Safe Balance account is that you do not have access to write checks, no overdraft fees, and one benefit again for students is if you are 24 or under, then you can actually avoid the monthly fees, which is about $495 per month. The next checking account offered by Bank of America is Advantage Plus. Now, Advantage Plus is a little better in terms of the functionalities that it provides over the Safe Balance, all right? And the minimum to open this one is about $100, and there is overdraft protection on this account. But if you, for any reason, spend more than you have, you will have to pay that $35 fee. That's what they charge for an overdraft per transaction. This account gives you access to a debit card, just like the Safe Balance. But also, this one comes with the ability to write checks. So if you want to write checks, then this is the type of account that you should consider opening. Now, the only thing about this is that it has a monthly fee of about $12, which could be waived if you have a qualified direct deposit of $250 or more made into the account, or you keep a minimum balance of about $1,500, or you're enrolled in a preferred rewards program. Now, let's talk about each of this. The first thing is the qualified direct deposit. What is that? A qualified direct deposit examples are a paycheck that is made by your employer into the account. The second one is a pension plan that is paid into your account. And the third one is like Social Security payments, all right, made into this account. Those would be called qualified direct deposits. Now, know that any type of deposit that you make personally are not considered qualified direct deposit. Now, that's something that really interests me because you got to remember that banks are looking for ways to create more money. So if you're just transferring some money from your savings account to your checking account and you think that qualifies as a qualified direct deposit, no, it doesn't. So keep that in mind. The last type of checking account offered by Bank of America is the Advantage relationship. The minimum to open this account is about $100 again. There is overdraft protection available on this account. If for any reason you make a transaction that exceeds your balance in your account, you'll be charged $35. That's what they charge. On this type of account, however, you earn interest on your balance. And you can get some fee waivers on select services, including domestic wires, additional checking or savings accounts, and more. Now, the thing about this account is that you'll be charged about $25 per month. Now, this fee could be waived if you have a minimum balance of about $10,000. And it is a lot of money. And that's something that you should, keep in mind if you're thinking of opening this type of account. Now, if you remember at the beginning of this video, I brought to your attention that if you're a student or a teenager and you're thinking of opening an account, well, Bank of America do have 3 options. And I've mentioned these 3 options for you. Now, the one I'm going to recommend, obviously, and to make your own decision is the Save Balance, which is the first one. A couple of reasons. The first thing is that you can waive the monthly fee of about $495 if you are a student. And the second thing also is that this has no overdraft protection, which, to be honest, I like it because the point is I don't want to spend the money I don't have in the first place. And the thing is, if you do have this protection, that means that if you spend more than you have in your account, you'll be charged $35. And that's a lot of money for a student that is probably not working but working a minimum wage job. So that's something you also definitely want to avoid. Now, one thing I'm going to recommend is that before you open this bank account, try to do some research as to the area that you will primarily be spending your time. Look for ATMs around or the bank locations around you and make sure that they are close to you, because the thing is, if you want to make ATM withdrawals, you don't want to be paying fees for the merchant and also fees to the bank. And that can easily add up to almost $5 or $6 or even more. So try to do your research before you open this bank account. The other thing also is that keep in mind of the fee schedule. And I'm going to link that also in the video below. Well, I hope that you found some value in this video and I hope that you've enjoyed and stayed all through. If you have, please give this video a thumbs up. And also if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. Consider watching these other videos and I'm sure you're going to find some value in them. I hope I pointed in the right place. But anyway, see you in the next one.